Ladies and gentlemen, Washington Post, 24 hours ago, House impeachment managers, Trump is as lawless and corrupt as ever. CNBC, 1 hour ago, Trump impeachment prosecutors focused too narrowly. Don't you know they focused too narrowly on Ukraine. Gosh, if they had just tried to broaden their scope into Trump's lawlessness, his unbridled lawlessness. By the way, he was not impeached on a legal statute. They could not find a legal statute after 3 years of investigating him. Not one legal statute did he break. Not a one. Not one legal statute. Go to the articles of impeachment. They're a bunch of subjective nonsense. They're a bunch of opinions. Well, Trump did this and we don't like it, and he obstructed Congress, which, by the way, isn't obstruction of justice, which is what Bill Clinton was impeached on, or perjury, which is what Bill Clinton was impeached on. The two statutes that he was impeached upon are subjective and not legal statutes. So he did not technically break any laws, because they couldn't find any laws that he broke. Because after 3 years, the only evidence they had was purchased by Madam Secretary, who will be the nominee. Share my Times of Israel article, Hillary Clinton, not Biden, will be nominee. And share my Huffington Post article written in 2017, Hillary Clinton 2020 is a reality. Get ready for 8 years of Trump. I will have made the biggest political call of all time, and it's happening, ladies and gentlemen. Don't think that we're not going to get to August. They're not going with Biden. They are trying everything possible to replay the same tactics and strategies they used in 2016. They have not. Trump is a monster. He's an ogre. He's a horrible person. They're going to roll with that every single day from here on out into the election, and then they'll probably add other things too. They might even impeach President Trump again, according to a whole bunch of Democrats. And they are not stopping. So, Washington Post, House impeachment managers, Trump is as lawless and corrupt as ever. To my super chat, thank you, by the way, for supporting my voice. Eric H526, Luke St. Martin, the two greatest moderators in all of YouTube. They keep on focusing on his disapproval rating. Oh my God, his poll numbers are tanking. Well, what do you expect? This is the most apoplectic, hysterical, seething, fuming, rabid, maniacal media coverage that any president has ever received. Bush was the worst president we have ever had, and he didn't receive 1/10. He never received 1/10 of this venom and vitriol and contempt. What do you expect? Things are taking place. Okay, a horrific murder of George Floyd in Minneapolis, the bluest of blue states. Actually, no, Washington is. Oh my God, I don't even want to get started there. But Minneapolis, Minnesota. Minnesota has not voted for a Republican since 1972. Jacob Frey, the Justin Trudeau mayor of Minneapolis, presided over an atrocity. Then they blame tensions on Trump. First they say everything's peaceful. Then they say the unrest is caused by Trump. You've had 10,000 Americans in police custody throughout the country, and you've had $1.4 billion in property loss. That's Trump. They just elected. If they didn't elect President Trump the past 3 years, which they did, which basically President Trump had record low unemployment. He had record low Black and Latino unemployment. Stein the first step back, first president to step foot in North Korea and begin détente between North and South Korea. To my imbecile detractors on social media, look up what détente is, what détente means. The easing of tensions, the building of diplomatic relations, communication. This is what took place under President Trump. President Moon Jae-in of South Korea stated that Trump deserved the Nobel Peace Prize, and just a couple of months ago, President Moon Jae-in of South Korea, a really great political leader, stated that he envisions a joint Olympic team in the future between North Korean and South Korean athletes. This would be a dream. This would be unprecedented, obviously, but President Trump's foreign policy is one of the big reasons I'm voting for him. He just signed a peace deal in late February, early March. Our country just signed a peace deal to end our involvement, our 20-year involvement in America's longest running military conflict. The problem is I know why a person would vote. I know why a person would vote for Clinton. I know why people think they're going to vote for Biden. I know why people vote Democrat. I know why people do the things they do on the left. I do, actually. I used to be on the left. And I know why they act the way they do. The left does not understand, Democrats do not understand why anyone would vote for President Trump. Because their world, their world is filled with such arrogance and hubris. And the egos are so large and inflated. They think President Trump is one person, okay? You look at Trump and his personality, and this is really important, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to explain to you exactly why you should never, ever, 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 Daniel, hello, ever, ever, ever debate a person with derangement issues pertaining to Trump. The reason is the following. They can't say anything about Trump and the economy. They can't say anything about Trump and foreign policy. Notice how they have no critique of Trump on terms of foreign policy or the economy. Because they know that it was self-induced. We had record low unemployment. They know that it was self-induced what took place. So they don't have any there's no critique of the president. There's no critique in terms of we don't like his foreign policy. We don't like his economy. But they used to harp on tariffs, but then they realized, okay, the tariffs weren't that bad. They are obsessed with his personality. Do you understand? Do you understand they want to impeach him? They want to remove him. They want to denigrate and insult him and mock him and do everything. His personality lives within them. They use that phrase, Clinton's living rent-free in Trump's head. No, she's not. President Trump knows Michael, I didn't. I have to check that out. President Trump knows that he's going to go up against Hillary Clinton. Do you remember when he said also, in addition to everything Clinton and Bill Clinton, all of them have said to kind of foreshadow what's going to take place, but do you remember when President Trump said, I think I know something that you don't know, but I know? Let's see if I can find that. Kathy DePoy! Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Kathy, very much. Have a great weekend, Kathy. Great Friday. Everyone here, have a great and safe weekend. From here on out, Kathy and everybody, live your lives knowing that November 3rd, 2020 is going to be the most amazing, election. One of the most amazing elections in U.S. history. President Trump's going to win again, and there's nothing that they can do about it. It's, in fact, the media has hit, Kathy and everybody here, the media has hit a point where the negativity and the vitriol and the venom and the anger and the frustration, it actually has increased President Trump's base of support. Because you cannot, okay, the polls today that say that Trump is down, they're polling and surveying and asking the majority of respondents are Democrats. Go look at the CNN polls and still you get independents within those polls choosing President Trump by a margin of 14 points. No, 16 points, sorry. 16 points. So you're going to look, ladies and gentlemen, at, hold on, let's just see, Trump. Let's see. There's one. Oh, okay. Okay, here's the Okay, hold on one second. This is when President Obama did not overtly support Biden. This is in April. He's referencing Kathy and everybody here. He is referencing a reason. He's saying he knows why nobody's supporting Biden. Orange Grove 55, and that forced Biden to. Notice the left is now pushing the don't go outside fear since protests are exactly. They're coming back to it. Orange Grove 55, Kathy, thank you. They're coming back to it. And then they're going to talk about, you watch Orange Grove 55, they're going to talk about Russia and Ukraine very soon. It's the playbook. They think that's working, but Movie Dog! Love what you do. Movie Dog, thank you so very much. Great name, by the way. Great name. Movie Dog, thank you. Thank you. Orange Grove 55, you wait. They'll bring up Ukraine again, and it'll go back to Biden. That might be how they get Biden out of the picture and install Madam Secretary, which will be the biggest. I will have made the biggest political call of all time, ladies and gentlemen. Kathy, thank you. Movie Dog, great name. Thank you so very much, Movie Dog. Thank you. Orange Grove 55. They're like a football team that keeps running the same play, but it never works. Which, by the way, that happens a lot in college football or regular football too. But here, or NFL. But here,
he didn't really drop out.
The Bernie Sanders has dropped out.
I did see that today.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't really drop out. He didn't really. What about his delegates? I mean, he said he's going to keep his delegates, and which is sort of interesting. He's going to keep his delegates, and he'd like to get more. Now, is he dropping out or not? That's not dropping out. When you keep your delegates and then you want more delegates before you get to the convention, that's a weird deal going on there. I don't know what's happening. And I don't know why President Obama hasn't supported Joe Biden.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, before a week after this, President Obama supported Joe Biden. But you have to ask yourself, why was it a week after? Why was it a week after? A week after, ladies and gentlemen, literally like a week or 2 weeks after this happened, President Obama suddenly supported Joe Biden. Then a month and a half later, Clinton allegedly endorsed Biden, but he never used the word. He never said that Clinton endorsed Biden on his YouTube page or on his Twitter, and neither did she. I will have made the biggest political call of all time, ladies and gentlemen, the absolute biggest. But listen to President Trump.
A long time ago, there's something he feels is wrong. Why isn't he'll come out? I'm sure he's got to come out at some point.
So he says he's going to come out at some point.
because he certainly doesn't want to see me for 4 more years. We're not. We think a little bit differently. You know what? I'll tell you. It does amaze me that President Obama hasn't supported Sleepy Joe. It just hasn't happened. When's it going to happen? When is it going to happen? Why isn't it? He knows something that you don't know. That I think I know, but you don't know. So it'll be interesting. But with
He knows something that you don't know that I think I know. Check it out.
something that you don't know. Sleepy Joe, it just hasn't happened. When's it going to happen? When is it going to happen? Why isn't it? He knows something that you don't know. That I think I know, but you don't know. So it'll be interesting. But with Bernie, I saw his standard fare today.
He knows something that you don't know that I think I know. Doug Barnard! Durham will charge before election, can't risk it. That would be fantastic. That would be fantastic. Gina, hello, from West Virginia, hello. Doug, that would be fantastic. The only thing is, I think that I think that they're going to wait until after the election, but that would be fantastic if Durham did something before the election. Amazing. It would be amazing. But check it out. He knows that it's going to be Clinton. He knows the way the DNC runs. Tammany Hall has not changed. It's a political machine. This is a political machine. When people say, oh my goodness, that's, conspiratorial. No, it's a political machine. You could look at Tammany Hall. They had political bosses, and they still do. Clinton is a political boss, like Boss Tweed. It's not that difficult to kind of make the correlation. You have honest graft, and then you have, well, they call it honest graft. It really is just graft. But they used to call it honest and dishonest graft. So.
Think a little bit differently. You know what? I'll tell you, it does amaze me that President Obama hasn't supported Sleepy Joe. It just hasn't happened. When's it going to happen? When is it going to happen? Why isn't it? He knows something that you don't know. That I think I know, but you don't know.
That I think I know, but you don't know. So, I mean, that's what this is all about. That's what this is all about. Exactly, Kathy. It'll be what happened this time. But she does. But see, the thing is, you have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, Clinton loses, she'll run again in 2024. It'll just be like every 4 years. It'll be every 4 years. Okay? They don't think the same way most other people think. It's kind of like they don't really care. They don't have a sense of either shame or they can't get embarrassed. So they'll just, and you watch when Clinton runs again, you will see the most amazing about face. It'll be 180 degrees, It will be just they will go from Biden is great to, you know what? You know what? We have to go with Clinton. And that's it. And Trump is a threat to our health. That's what they're going to say. What's her name? Barbara Streisand stated that Trump is a threat to our health. Hold on. Where does he? Where was that? Barbara Streisand. Meanwhile, over half of all the lives lost are in 3 to 4 Democratic run states. 4. New York, New Jersey, Michigan, and Illinois. God bless the people in all of those states. But they're run by Democrats who just apparently the media doesn't care. But over half of all the lives lost are in 4 states. We have 50 states with 320 million people. Barbara Streisand at Joe Biden fundraiser says Donald Trump is a danger to our health. So she makes this absurd leap of logic the way they all do. And they say, well, he ignored the signs. Meanwhile, they were impeaching him right before all of this. And on March 1st, 2020, on March 1st, you have Andrew Cuomo saying the risk remains low for the people of New York. There's no need for undue anxiety. Now they have, ladies and gentlemen, they really, really think that they really think that Trump's on the ropes. Like, I'm telling you, they really think. They really think that Trump is on the ropes because all they've done is, thank you. There's J-Man. Sadly, I think he's going to lose. HAUSA is over. J-Man, I don't think so. I believe that Trump's going to win. I think that you see this like in competitions in the UFC. You see this in football. You see this in, the like a team is hyped up or a fighter is hyped up, and then they get into the octagon and they fight another opponent that they underestimated. They can't. J-Man, everything now is doom and gloom. Trump is in a better position now than he ever was. They have just They are trying to disband the police in Minneapolis. This is going to give Trump Minnesota. There's an undercurrent. Okay, the polls are meaningless. The polls were off by a huge margin in 2016. And when they say, well, the aggregate total, the popular vote, yes, she outspent Trump 2-1. She outspent Trump 2-1 and then barely got the popular vote by like less than 3 million votes. And you had Gary Johnson. Without Gary Johnson's 4.5 million votes taken from Trump, or at least the majority of them would have voted for Trump. The majority of Green Party people would not vote for Democrats. No way. Old school dad man. His rallies will put things in perspective. 10,000 matching mask. Matching masks. Yeah, old school dad man. And you're probably going to see the majority of the people not wearing masks, which the left will like completely be apoplectic about. Old school dad man. J-Man. Old school dad man, thank you as always. I'm telling you, everyone, they are so overconfident. And all they have, ladies and gentlemen, all they have is the media. They don't have anything else. They don't have anything else. All they have is the media, and that's it. That's it. They don't have anything else. It's not like they have policies they can fall back on. They don't have any policies they can fall back on. They don't have any policies. They don't have, what achievements have Democrats what have they achieved? What have they achieved? They can't name anything except disliking Trump even more. Kathy DePoy! Thank you, Kathy. Never raise your white flag. Never. Never, Kathy. Never, because you know what? There's no reason to give up on logic and rational thought It is not logical to have such contempt for President Trump. It's not reasonable or rational or logical. It's only about a difference in, like, his personality is the reason they don't like him. That's it. Kathy DePoy! Really, it's his personality, and it's the media's fantasy about who Trump is. Trump never called horrible people fine people. He never called racists and horrible people fine people. He was talking about conservatives who wanted to keep statues up. Now, to Democrats, they're the worst people alive, but they're still not the horrible monsters that were there. So, Kathy DePoy, thank you so much. Kathy, if without the media, if the media was objective without the hyperbole or vitriol, Democrats would have nothing. And then Trump would win the popular vote by a wide margin. Kathy, thank you. I mean, think of it this way, Kathy and everybody here. We had record low unemployment. They said that the sky was falling. Now imagine, we have, high unemployment, but it was self-induced. Now it's like, Orange Girl 55. Twitter isn't real life. Exactly. Just left this echo chamber. Exactly. They're falling for the same assumptions as in 2016. Overconfidence. They have. Let's put it this way. Orange Girl 55. In 2016, the Democratic primary was even more, neutral, fair and neutral, and polls were even more accurate then. If you could believe that, and they weren't accurate. Alan Daniels, H.A. Strongman is all we need. Kathy, Alan Daniels, thank you. Thank you. Orange Girl 55, thank you. Doug Barnard, thank you. J-Man, thank you. Alan Daniels, thank you very much. Thank you again, Alan. Thank you. The thing is, look, they're overconfident when they lose again, and they will lose again. They will lose again. They're going to go, there's two options. This is why you cannot speak to anybody who has, family members, friends, whatever, about politics, even after the election. I was thinking about this. There isn't going to be a time for reckoning. Like, they're not going to look in the mirror and say, okay. They're going to be even more angry and frustrated and scorned after they lose. If you can imagine, okay? If you can imagine, they're going to be even worse. It's going to be even worse, ladies and gentlemen, for Democrats and media. Now, eventually they'll have to look into the mirror. It could happen immediately, could happen a month after. But immediately after the November election, when they lose, because they're not going with Biden. There's no way they go with Biden. I will have made the biggest political call of all time. They're going to go with Hillary Clinton. She's the only chance they have. Now, I want to let you know something. Had Clinton actually come out of the shadows like Tulsi Gabbard asked her to do and ran and said, okay, we're going to do this again. Instead of pretending with Biden, she would have had a 30% chance or even a 35% chance. I think that they really let an opportunity slip. And thank God, because they're so petrified. James! Hello, James! Yes. They really let an opportunity slip because, look, they're going with this Biden routine. Nobody believes it. How can Trump's poll numbers slip when Biden is nowhere to be seen? How does that work? Does that make any sense at all? How can you say that Trump is losing support? Where is this support going? Because it ain't going to Biden. Okay. Biden is nowhere to be found. He's just literally nowhere to be found. Where is he? Where is the guy? He's nowhere to be found. I want to know. He's like, the man is, he cannot possibly, he can't possibly be the Democratic choice, even though he's wrapped up the delegates, because they don't even need a primary. Hillary Clinton has all the energy, all the enthusiasm. She does. Look, I'm telling you, she has millions of people who love her. I'm telling you. They will all lose again in November. It's going to be pretty amazing. And every day, like, this is brilliant. In a very insidious manner. They have Biden. They trot out Biden, who defeated Bernie, that should tell you something about Bernie's movement, which became a ballot movement. When I was writing about Bernie Sanders, I didn't know that he would be a tool of the Democratic Party, and I didn't know he would lack the courage or integrity to say that, it wasn't the Russians who cheated me, by the way. They might have hacked into the DNC, but not Clinton's servers, Why would they do that? There's only top secret and special access program intelligence there. How would the Russians, who are geniuses at chess, why would they try to infiltrate Madam Secretary's servers? They would obviously go and try to infiltrate the DNC to make the Democrats look really bad, because then everyone found out that they cheated me. And so anyway, it's too bad that the Russians had to hurt and cheat Madam Secretary. He never said, I was cheated. He never stated that. Miller Chillmore! Took a look at Michael Tracy's Twitter. Can't believe you had to deal with that. Keep fighting the good fight. Thank you, Miller Chillmore. Miller Chillmore, I actually dealt with I dealt with a bit less. Because Miller Chillmore, thank you so much. Thank you so much. The Michael Tracy, he probably doesn't agree with me or even like my thought process on anything. So the fact that I'm saying that I'm going to compliment him, that would probably be used against him by the maniacal left. But Miller Chillmore, I have a great deal of respect for how he's conducting himself. And it's unbelievable, because when I was writing in 2015 and 2016, Miller Chillmore, there was no Rose Twitter. The anarchists weren't really on Twitter. Like, it wasn't really, they were kind of, I don't know. There was no Rose Twitter in 2015, 2016. Bernie Sanders, like the average Bernie supporter, was everything from a conservative to a libertarian to a left-leaning person to a lifelong Democrat. It was all different to anarchists, to socialists, a whole bunch of there was no defined Bernie Sanders supporter, despite the correct the record trolls that tried to, So I had to deal with pushback from like the Daily Beast and like an unethical, absurd hit piece from the Daily Beast, and from like no-name publications. And from Reddit. All my articles would go viral, and they'd go on Reddit. They'd go like viral on Reddit, and people would be like, "Oh my God, here he is, God." But I did not have to deal with what he dealt with. Also, I made it very clear that there's no way in the world I would vote for Clinton. Whereas I believe Michael Tracy would vote for Hillary Clinton. I believe he would. So it was a little bit different, but he is experiencing the wrath of very maniacal, very petulant, very malicious people who aren't really tied to any political ideology, like Medicare for all. Nobody's talking about that now because they've run that into the ground. Eric H526, yes, I did. Thank you, sir. Miller Chilmore, you brought up a great point. What's happening, and he has a lot of strength because he just doesn't care. That's the good thing. That's Michael Tracy. At the end of the day, he's going to prevail because the Democrats are not going to win, and he can always say, well, look at the people who have taken over the political party, and those are the same people who try to disparage him every single day. So, but that's another reason. Like most of YouTube pundits on the left, they have close to 1 million subs or whatever, like a whole bunch of them who are like hardcore liberal or whatever, Medicare for all people, or just liberal Democrats who will vote for any Democrat. They'll never debate me because I know their Achilles heel on every issue. That's why they would. I have an open, I'm not going to call any people out, but if they have close to 1 million subs on the left, I would love to debate you. It's contactgoodman78@gmail.com. Let's set it up. I will absolutely destroy and eviscerate you in any debate because what are they going to say? What are they going to say when they lose again? And what are they going to say when Hillary Clinton is the nominee? And I am the only person in all of YouTube and all of media who predicted it. It's not just about a prediction. Forget about who cares about predictions. It's about I understand it's a political machine. Nobody really gets that it's a political machine. Democrats are a political machine. Miller Chilmore, thank you. Yeah, I mean, Rose Twitter never existed in 2015. All those people who have taken over the left message, when I was on Twitter and when my articles were going viral, the left, the people who really spoke for the left were lifelong Hillary bots. Now the Hillary bots, they don't really have much of a say online, but they control the political party. The online is controlled by socialists, the left. The online on the left is controlled by socialist and anarchist accounts. They run Twitter, which is why Democrats will eventually, one of the reasons Democrats will eventually lose to President Trump. They're always so confident. The left is I've never seen people more confident, yet lacking a base of knowledge. It could be about history or politics or current events. Everything is sensationalized. Everything's a false equivalency. Everything's just absurd. They have this absurd logic. Hank, I definitely wouldn't on linguistics. I do a good, I think I do a pretty good Noam Chomsky. Hold on. The Republican Party. I'm voting for, no, what is he? He's like, the Republican Party has done away with the, I did it yesterday. The planet is at stake if you vote for the Republican Party. Oh my God, I can't do it. I was almost there. If you look at Republicans and their viewpoint on the planet, oh God, I can't do it. I was almost there. Every day, Madam Secretary's in the news. It's just basically they're waiting. I know I know how the imbeciles think. They're waiting. Her campaign is waiting to peak towards the end because they, through their fantastic polling and research, they found out that a lot of people decided last second to vote for President Trump in 2016. And they can thank the Comey letter for that, which was the big October surprise or November surprise. But which by the way, Comey, the whole thing was a cover-up, but it was so, the cyber debacle was so profound that they couldn't really cover it up. So, they couldn't cover up all of it. So, but they're trying to peak towards the end because they don't want Clinton to be bogged down. So they'd rather have Biden deal with the pandemic and the protests and everything. And then right before the convention, they say, oh my goodness, we need Hillary. We need Hillary. We need Hillary. All you need is a couple articles in the New York Times, the Washington Post. You need a couple pundits on CNN, MSNBC. You need a couple accounts on, you need Hollywood, some pretty high profile celebrities or athletes saying, we need Hillary Clinton. And if you don't like Hillary Clinton and you like Trump, then, I'm not your friend anymore. That's it. They'll start doing that. You'll have high profile, and then the paradigm will shift. It will take 3 to 4 days. It will take the first 10 hours will be outrage. Oh my God. How could this happen? And then it'll shift. And it'll be like, what? Too bad. The former vice president slid into second, and nobody could have predicted this, and he needs an ACL, God forbid, surgery, and now we have somebody who's she should have won anyway. They're going to do that. I'm telling you. Diane Stewart! I posted Hillary would be Democratic nominee on my Facebook, and they act like I put mustard on my french fries. Hey, mustard on french fries is fine. I love ketchup on french fries, but mustard on french fries is just fine. That's just fine. Diane Stewart, thank you. You know what? Just put my Times of Israel and my Huffington Post articles. Now is the time, everyone. You will look like a genius. You are geniuses, more so than anyone else. My Times of Israel and my Huffington Post articles are below in the pinned comment. Let me put them in the pinned comment right this second, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead, start sharing them right now, because it's also the worst nightmare of Democrats, so it's actually really fun to do. It's actually a really fun thing. Because you have people who pride themselves on how much they dislike Trump, but at the same time, they secretly have just the utmost contempt for Madam Secretary, but they will be stuck and forced to vote again for the wonderful and brilliant and talented Madam Secretary, which will be absolutely hilarious. And again, they're not going to miss a beat. You have to understand, they're not going to miss a beat. Diane, thank you. Kathy DePoy. Thoughts on Seattle situation? This is giving President Trump an electoral. He's not going to win Washington, but people see this. Kathy, people throughout the country see this. It only helps President Trump. Andrew Morgan, endorsement from Pantsuit Magazine. Pantsuit Daily. Pantsuit Weekly. Andrew Morgan. Kathy, it's only going to help President Trump. Any civil or social unrest helps the president. They don't get this. Among all demographics, by the way. They don't get this. They think that the way they look at it, the way they see it, Kathy and everyone here, and Diane, they see it, they say, well, you see how angry people are? I mean, sure, why would you vote for President Trump? Well, you'd vote for President Trump because you want to reverse failed foreign policy. Failed U.S. foreign policy, and he's doing that. The peace deal signed in late February, early March was completely ignored by the media. Anything good he does is completely ignored by the media. Everything that is offensive to Democrats, they then turn into this cause celeb, this infatuation, like he was the worst person who's ever existed. So it's just really interesting. Like, it's really interesting how media is not as important to American life as people think it is. Kathy DePoy, thank you. It's just going to help President Trump. Any social unrest. See, the chaos and mayhem serves multiple purposes. It gives, like, the people on the far left a moment of euphoria, thinking that, like, their time has come. They're actually, embraced by media, and they're, like, fighting for justice. They think they're like the original Superman. They think they're the original Superman, where they're, like, flying off every episode. Jimmy from Philly. Hey, Jay. Jimmy from Philly. Hello, Jimmy from Philly. They think that every single, city that's overrun or safe zone or autonomous zone or whatever, they think it's a display of political influence. It is actually hurting the Democratic Party. But the Democratic Party is caught between a rock and a hard place. They need to have some kind of enthusiasm. They need to have something that media can focus on. Something. So then they turn it to, Trump wants to go ahead and invade, Seattle. So, they need, the media right now is just running on fumes. The fumes of Trump contempt. The fumes of their contempt for Trump. That's it. They're simply running on the fumes of their contempt for Trump. And then when Clinton becomes nominee, there will only be one person on the planet who told you this. And then when she loses again, this H.A. Goodman's other channel, and then I'm still working on the formerly Bizarro World Goodman, which is H.A. Goodman's hyperbole translator. There will be the only 3 channels on YouTube that actually called all of this. Dan Noyes! Never underestimate the ability of those people to vote for their own enslavement. The road to where is paved with good intentions of ignorant people. I agree. But also, Dan, I agree with you, and also they're obsessed with Trump's personality. One reason you should never debate anybody who ever who has Trump derangement issues is that when you do give them a list of reasons you're voting for Trump, they almost like they don't hear it. They don't care. They don't hear it. They do not care and they don't hear it. So there you go. Dan Noyes, thank you. Dan, thank you so much. They don't care and they don't hear it, and it's like they just all they care about is showing how much contempt they have for President Trump. That's it. When Clinton becomes nominee, ladies and gentlemen, it will not only be the biggest... here we go. Now they've created this... I don't even want to... They're doing it again. They're creating they're creating mythology around Trump. They're creating the country. Thank God Trump says he won't close the country if second wave of you-know-what hits. Yeah, what do you... This is a while back. What do they want us to live in Mad Max, like a scene from Mad Max. That's the only thing they want. That's what they want. Ladies and gentlemen, check out H.A. Goodman's other channel right now. I have a great segment up on there. About 10 minutes, 15 minutes it'll be up. It's happening slowly but surely, ladies and gentlemen. What's Joe Biden up to today? Nobody knows. Joe Biden. He said Joe's not all there. That's so hilarious. CNN's at it again. Why the electoral map is looking even better for Joe Biden than it looks. It's even better for Joe Biden. Oh my God! You know what? When they lose again and they blame something, anything, and then our country is crying out for leadership that Donald Trump can't deliver. No, the people who are crying out want Democrats. That's the leadership that they want. It's not leadership as in, oh, we're objective and, you know, we would just want leadership from any party. No, they want only one form of leadership. That's it. Dan Noyes! Why are the occupiers still putting up walls around their 8-block perimeter? Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question. You have to also ask yourself, like, this isn't just happening. I'm just speaking roundabout terms, but Dan, it's obvious that in that area of the country, you have everybody from the mayor to city council people to the governor to local law enforcement. Like, it's not just a matter of being sympathetic. I'll leave it at that. Dan, thank you. I don't think it's just a matter of being sympathetic. I'll leave it at that. Dan, thank you so very much. To my super chat, thank you. Everyone, God bless. I'll be back tonight. Be here at 10 p.m. or so, ladies and gentlemen. Around 10 p.m. Pacific, ladies and gentlemen. And people, thank you. I'll have an upload on this channel very likely and a little later on, but also I'll have something on H.A. Goodman's other channel right now, so check that out. To my super chat, thank you. Eric H526, Luke St. Martin, thank you. Everybody, thank you so very much. I'll see you tonight, everyone. Be here.